All right, YouTube, we're back. I'm going to continue on what I talked about yesterday or the other day, which was the rooting balance, going in to the ground using hips. And again, I want to introduce a tripod concept that I use. Carl is my bad guy today. One of the things that I really am big on is using your opponent for any type of balance issues. Because remember, I don't subscribe to the theory that if you throw a hook punch out, that this is Wing Chun. I believe that it's display Wing Chun, it's movie Wing Chun, it's great. But one of the things that I'm big on is that there's only three types of energies you have in a fight. There's the punching energy, the pushing energy, or the pulling energy, and that's all grappling. Getting into it, what I talked about the other day was turning, and you think, strong side hip supports elbow, weak side hip still supports elbow. What that does, when you guys will discover it is if I put a punch out after a turn and you push energy into me, and I only have this side engaged, let's do the Bruce Lee strong side, and you give me energy push in, it's going to be a muscling, and I'll turn it off, keep pushing in, you're good. And I'm going to learn how to use my elbow energy, but you see my foot's coming off. If I switch this and I put strong side in, and let me recover for a sec, right here, and I don't want to violate that, and I'll let him violate me for a second. Go ahead and push in, push in. Now this side all of a sudden adopts in, and I won't be moved back. When I start to violate myself, and I come into a space, go and push in, that's where I wind up changing. Now, what I always want to do, and you might want to get in a little bit for the feet on this, but you can get an overhead view. I always want, come in closer for a second if you can. I always want a tripod, meaning I want one leg of mine and another leg of mine, and I want the third leg, the tripod, where at a position where I'm always in between somebody's leg. It's going to be dictated on my movement, which leg is forward and which leg is back. So I always want this. I always want a leg in between mine. Because then, let's just say Carl's bigger than me, he's going to be pushing into me. If Carl gives me energy, and I have a strong side, all I have to do is take my flank, go to my flank, and I lost position. This comes into facing. How do you solve this problem? Well, if I'm giving strong side forward, and you know how to capitalize, and you can go underneath and take my flank, it's going to be a catch-up game, right? But if I take that same concept of supporting strong side with weak side, and he goes to take my flank, I'm already there with facing. Already there with facing. So one of the things that I always want to do when I'm making contact with somebody, no matter where it is I wind up trying to get a leg in between mine. Even if it's just for kicking out point, a sweeping point, whatever. But if he gives me energy, push into me, I'm always going to have the advantage of keeping that leg in. And you're allowed to push. You push. I just want to take that leg. And I'm always going to be putting in a position to have this tripod aspect of it. When you automatically start doing, pushing in, and if I wind up always moving and have weak side supported the strong side, this is where your power is going to be. This is where power is going to be, because you're always forming a great triangle tripod stance. When you have strong side to strong side, you're giving up half your body. It's just a continuation of what I was talking about yesterday. So when you wind up making contact here, whatever, if and we could freeze there for a second. If we're facing, excuse me, and I want a leg in between, because what am I doing? Strong side, he knows what he's doing. It's going to be a muscling aspect, and I have to wind up, fighting for that center. But if all I do is come here and and I switch, and I wind up having that position right away. It's just your upper body and your lower body have to talk to each other. But if you wind up screwing up, for argument's sake, I'm going to step in and punch, and you stop it. Oh, I better switch that right away and go to your other side. Use them for balance. It's just something you screw around with class. I hope it makes sense. But if you want to really hook up the power, you have to hook up opposite side to whatever side's extended. Punch here. None of this. I just don't see value in that Bruce Lee stuff. It has to be opposite side and supported by there. Just a concept. Mess around with it. See how it works for you.